Hello, and welcome to Beyond Books, where we talk about books and go beyond. I'm your host. I'm Renee, co-host Raina, and today's snack of the day is taco minis, K9 carryouts. Oh, Raina likes those. So happy Taco Tuesday and happy Tag Tuesday, because today we're going to talk about I'm sorry, that must have sounded awful, the Sod's Law tag. This tag was created by Duncan at Back Away from the Donkey channel, and I will put a link. And I was tagged by Pat at Book Chat with Pat, and I will put a link to her channel as well. So part of this tag is to explain what Sod's Law is. So this starts out with Wikipedia being referenced, and it says Sod's Law, a British culture axiom, states that if something can go wrong, it will. Now, I think we've heard that before, but I don't know that we've all ever referred to it as Sod's Law. The law sometimes has a corollary, that the misfortune will happen at the worst possible time, and that's called Finagle's Law. So I didn't know that those were two separate laws. But anyway, it says the term is commonly used in the United Kingdom, while in many parts of North America, the phrase Murphy's Law is more popular. And that is true. I think I've always known it as Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong, and at the worst possible moment. But we also had a nursing version, somewhat similar to that. I'm not sure what the law was called, but I can tell you that it was a very effective law. And the longer you were a nurse, the more that you came to respect this law. And this law stated that if anyone were to come onto the unit and look around and say, it's kind of quiet here today. No, you could not allow that to happen. Because as soon as someone noted that it was a quiet day, all holy heck would break loose and it would no longer be a quiet day. So yeah, I'm not sure again what we would call that law, but I can tell you that it worked. So let's see, what is the first prompt here? It says the video you spend the most time on and are the most proud of is likely to get the least views. Well, yeah, that sometimes happens. And it says, name that video. So, I kind of just poked around a little bit, and I don't feel that I necessarily need to go back too far in my history of posted videos because, I've only been a booktuber for a little over a year and a half. And so my earlier videos, they just really didn't get as many views in general. So it's kind of apples and oranges. So I went back about 6 months, and what I see there is that there were some holiday videos that didn't get too much love. Nobody likes the Christmas specials, huh? But yeah, probably because a lot of them don't have Raina in them. Now that could be part of the reason. So I think Raina deserves an extra treat for that. But still, the one that I do want to talk about specifically is a video from about a year ago where I reviewed 2 banned books. That was Genderqueer and Flamer. And in that video, I go through some statistics of suicide among the LGBT plus youth population. And I felt like I had made an important point about the significance of identifying with characters in a book and why that's so important. I think a lot of people may not have specifically watched that video because they may not be interested in either one of those books, and that's fine. I can certainly understand that, but just to be aware that that's there, and it may be something that you might want to watch if you have someone who is young in your family, maybe just coming out or identifying with a different gender than what they were assigned at birth, that kind of thing. Especially nowadays, a lot of negativity towards people within that community. So I will put a link to that one in the description. I'm proud of that one. Prompt number 2, the video that you had the most disasters putting together. Well, I don't know if it was a disaster, but there's one at the end of 2024. In fact, it was New Year's Eve. And no, it wasn't because I was drinking. But I was in an Airbnb in the Western Virginia area because Donna and I, and of course Raina as well, were taking a few days to hike and play in the mountains, that kind of thing. So in the video, you can see that I'm having to look up to where I can see my tablet, where I had to prop it because I really didn't have much space. And I do mention in the video that my microphone is ready to run out of battery. I have on some reading glasses that really weren't working for me because I couldn't find my regular glasses. And it's just kind of, in general, a hot mess. But somehow the video still actually came out okay. And that one is called the Rapid Fire Book Tag. And I'll put a link to that one in the description as well. So prompt number 3, it says, in opposite to prompt number 1, the video you threw together off the cuff with minimal work is the one that gets the most views. So name that video. Raina always does this. She ducks down, so then I've got to turn the camera. There we go. So that would be a short video that I made with Raina. In fact, see what I'm saying? I mean, the ones with her are the most popular. That's how we do it here. And I made it in January, and it was a very cold day, very cold night, and all around the country it was cold, it was snowy, and Raina was laying on the cozy chair, and she was all wrapped up in a big blanket. And in the video, I ask her if she wants to go out, and she wants no part of it. She just looks at me like I have lost my mind. And it only took a few seconds to make it, and it got over 3,500 views. So, but it is cute, so I'll put a link to that as well, and if you want to check it out. So prompt number 4 is don't believe the hype. And boy, that's true. Don't believe the hype. It says the book you were really excited for and looking forward to, that was a letdown for you. Well, one of the most recent books that I feel I was kind of let down by was this one here, Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I've talked about it a couple of times on my channel. I had several people tell me that they liked Alice Feeney books, and of course I had seen them around everywhere. I mean, I knew they were popular. I thought I was in for a treat, and the first few chapters were actually quite good. And then somewhere around the middle of the book, it just did a total nosedive for me. So, yeah, I would still read an Alice Feeney. I hear there's one that she has called Rock, Paper, Scissors that is really good. And I think there was one other someone mentioned to me one time. I put it on my kind of long-range TBR list. So, yeah. I would still read an Alice Feeney, but that one just, yeah. Prompt number 5, the book you're excited to read, but every time you try to read it, something happens and you end up reading something else instead. Well, that book for me would be The Memory of Running by Ron McClarty. I've had this on my monthly TBR at least twice. And it's been on my waiting shelf. I have a shelf that I keep just with books that, I want to get on a TBR soon. And it's been sitting on that, I think, since December or so. So, yeah, it's about time I got to it, and I just never have. I know I'm going to like it. but for whatever reason, like I say, it just gets kind of snubbed every time. Likewise, the one that's right next to it, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I know I'm going to like this as well, but it seems that it just gets passed over for something else. So what I'm going to do is 1 month soon, one of these months coming up, I'm going to make a TBR of all books that are like this, that have been on at least one other monthly TBR, but I never got to. That would be a nice TBR for 1 month. The things you really want to read, but they just keep getting snubbed. So prompt number 6 says, a booktube event that you keep meaning to participate in, but events mean you never do. I'm going to have to be completely honest here. Well, I don't have to, but I will. I'll be completely honest here. And I will tell you that I've kind of stopped even trying to participate in booktube events because I never end up doing it, it seems. I forget, or there's other things I want to read, or things come up, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, now I just basically move to my own beat, and I'll do buddy reads with people. But yeah, that's really the extent of it. I really don't participate in a lot of the events, except Tag Tuesday, of course. So prompt number 7, a book you've ended up with multiple copies of because you didn't think you had it. Well, I'm famous for that. And most recently, that book is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. You can see this is a nice brand new copy that I have, that now my neighbor will have, because I also have it in hardcover. And I did a video actually too of an unhaul at the beginning of this year where I unhauled several books that were doubles for me. So yeah, I do that. I tend to do that. But most recently it was Anxious People. So prompt number 8, the video you've been trying to get together for the longest time that you just never get around to because of events. So I had every good intention this year, and actually since last year, of making a breast cancer series to talk about what I learned on my journey, with hopes that it would help someone else who was going through something similar. But I had been very open on BookTube about having been diagnosed with breast cancer, and I had talked about it several times. I mean, it wasn't a problem for me to talk about. It's not a problem for me to talk about now. But my plan was to make a series with things like, say, 5 nice gifts for someone who's just been diagnosed with breast cancer, like 10 tips to prepare for breast cancer surgery, 5 great resources to help you on your breast cancer journey, things like that. But when I found that it was time to go ahead and do it, I found that I just didn't want to. I don't know why. It just kind of felt like it was pulling me backwards instead of allowing me to go forward. And, it's still on my mind. So I may just do it, sometime. I don't know when, but yeah, I would actually still like to do it. And, the fact is, I probably will. Prompt number 9, a book you keep trying to buy but is never around, and other things thwart your ability to buy. Okay, well, for the longest time, it was this book, Swan Song by Robert R. McCammon. Now I have it, as you can see, but I wanted it for almost 2 years before I actually purchased it. Number 1, it is a little difficult to come across. You don't see it every day in every used bookstore and things like that. And number 2, it's such a thick book, actually almost 1,000 pages, that it's easy to just pass it up when you do see it, because you just get the idea in your head that you probably won't read such a thick book right away anyway. So why purchase it? It kind of gets put aside because you go through the store and you find other things that you're interested in. But I finally got it, partly because I've already read some pretty hefty books this year, and it gave me the confidence that I will pick that one up soon. So yeah, swan song for sure. So prompt number 10 is tag some others. I'm going to tag anyone who is watching this video and who wants to do this tag. And I will also tag some people in the in the description box. So I want to thank you all for watching. And if you like my videos, please be sure that you're subscribed, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it very much. That was one more snap for the road. So Raina's all set and ready to go. Right, Raina? All right. Thanks for watching. Take care.